This is your weekly real estate update for the greater Portland, Maine area. These are median numbers for closed sales in the last 7 days. So the days on market ticked up again to 35 days on market. That's 2 days in a row, 2 weeks in a row where the days on market has climbed up, and we're almost double where we were 3 weeks ago. The list to sale ratio still at 100%. So if you listed your house in the last 30 or 40 days, you likely got what you were asking for it. The closed price went down a little bit to $530,000. The average 30-year fixed interest rate down a little bit to 7.1, and US inflation numbers came in, inflation up a little bit, 2.9%. Let's talk about economic news this past week. So inflation numbers came out. The wholesale numbers were cooler than expected. The core was cooler than expected, and the retail sales were also cooler than expected. All of that together had mortgage lenders lowering the rates just a little bit this past week. But let's pivot away from inflation and rates for a second and talk about inventory. So the story of US inventory is that it is varied. Overall, the United States is approaching the pre-pandemic levels of housing inventory. So what does that mean? Remember, going into COVID, we were already tight on inventory, and then across the United States, there was almost no inventory out there. Rates were super low, people were buying houses, inventory was gone, right? So across the United States, we're getting closer to back to where we were. But what you really need to know is that your area and your region is the biggest difference here. So as an example, I want to talk about two states that Home Sweet Maine and real estate in Florida works. So my team works in Southwest Florida and Southern Maine. Those two states are drastically different when you talk about inventory. So Florida, to start off with, is 16.8% above their pre-pandemic inventory. So there was this massive COVID rush of people buying in Florida. There was also a ton of building going on. So now there's a ton of houses, less people going there, and inventory just building up there, days on market going up. Maine, on the other hand, is the opposite. So Maine is 48% below where we were pre-pandemic. So Maine has not seen this post-pandemic bounce back with inventory. A big part of that is we don't have big builders in Maine. We're not creating any inventory. So the homes that are there are the homes that are selling, and people keep coming and wanting to buy. So Maine is still a very tight inventory market. If you are a Mainer who has been thinking about buying a second home in Florida, now is a great time. There's a ton of inventory out there. Prices are dropping a little bit. Days on market are way up. So if you're in Maine and you want to buy down here, really great time to do it. If you're a Mainer trying to buy in Maine, it's still tight. It's a little frustrating. I do expect inventory to continue to decrease a little bit through the winter, but I think this spring is going to be one of the best markets we've seen in a long time. So hang in there. Your time is coming. If you have questions about buying in Maine or Southwest Florida, I would be happy to help you. Go ahead and reach out and have a great week.